Where you do it? A good position. Play now. When you say, pull up. When you say, pull up. When you say, wave it, wave it, wave it, wave it. Do your thing, do your thing. Wind up, do your thing, do your thing. Got to whine, you got to whine. Hold your waist. Pum 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 pum. Roll it, roll it. Do your thing, do your thing. Jump up, wind up, wind up. Roll up, roll up. Woo! All right, we'll stop right there. All right, so for those of you who don't know, that's a traditional song in my country, Trinidad and Tobago. Okay, is Mighty Shadow. The name of the song is Stranger. And it was fitting because this is a song that came to my mind today when I was prepping for this reading. Okay, mainly because we are in the shadow side of the moon. It's triggering a lot of shadow work. I believe the moon was in Gemini, but I don't really read the astrological signs because I get the read before the shifts, right? Because that's how I tap in. So it just kind of mirrors each other. I just find validation in where it actually physically placed, but I tend to live more in the spirit. Okay, so Shadow, Mighty Shadow, just giving some homage to him. And I'm actually dressed in Trinity colors today, right? If you include my smile. Ha ha! All right. But what I really came on here to say was shadow work, dark side of the moon. I know you guys are also, there's a theme about going back to the past. During that shift over the weekend, which I kind of prompted everyone about. But to be honest, whether you know about this stuff or not, you're going to be in resonance with whatever you're in resonance with. Okay, I know a lot of times people try to get ahead of the storyline, so they listen to different readers. They read astrology in order to, I guess, make conscious decisions, right? So they know which energies are working on them in what space and time ahead of time. They even try to prep. Okay, well, maybe now it's not a good time to be low, right? Because some people, they're not high vibes all the time, which is okay. Right? Some people want to partake in different things that they knowingly will lower their vibration. And so they try to set it up in a way that, they'll be aware of what's going to come to them when they're under that frequency, when they're on that frequency. Okay. And so if they have a conscious awareness, they know not to crash out. Okay. Now, I did give a little warning. I don't really like doing that part because I want you to be authentic, right? The lessons that you learn during this life experience has to be authentic ones. Okay, so wherever you're in highest resonance, that's what's going to lead. That's the place that you're going to be led to. Okay, whichever has the strongest pull on you. Okay, which energies are working on you in your particular natal chart, as well as what you are in your present moment. Okay, so be mindful of that. While you're on your journey. So I did give a little clue that you were going to be tested by either going into the new door of the future or you're going to be going back to the past. Some of you have chosen to go back into the past, and so that's going to set off a cycle within itself for the next couple years. But I don't know your personal natal chart or anything like that. I'm only here as a post for guidance. Now, if you've seen this message, it comes up on your algorithm. That means you're in resonance with me some way, somehow. Okay, and when I say me, I mean the spirit of me. And so I have a reading here for you. I have my cards out, which wasn't really planned in the beginning when I was vibing out, but I guess that's what we're doing right now. Okay. Also, there was a big message about rebellion. Okay. Having a rebellious spirit. All right. And the only advice that was coming for that message was that make sure you have a cause and you're not just rebelling for rebellious sake. Okay. Make sure there's an actual reason that is coinciding with your heart space. Okay, meaning I don't like this because whatever. reason it is that is important to you, that's truly important to you, or else it's just going to be rebellion for no actual cause. It literally just leads to stagnation. Okay, so if you are here, I do have a message for you. We have a message for you. Ding, 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 ding. All right, so let's get into the read. Thank you, God, creator of all things unknown and known. Please guide my vessel with this message on the highest positive frequency for divine alignment for all those involved. Divine wisdom, power, and glory, honor all those who've come before me. Be divinely respected and protected from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. Yes, we call upon our higher self to deliver this message on the highest positive frequency. Higher self act as a guardian to only permit benevolent energies into the space, this space and time. Yep. All right. So we have the Four of Cups, which is out, which is they keep showing me the spilling of the water of the cup, the spilling of the cup. You're looking at, I think of it as spilled milk. Some of you guys have broken your veganism. I guess you've been eating flesh or partaking in fleshly things. It could mean that too. And because of that, you've been in the resonance of going back to the past, looking at things that where your cup was not being fulfilled. Okay, where it was like wasted emotions. All right. Some of you guys are also trying to recover from a sickness. During the shift, it caused some kind of sickness, which does actually, spiritual ascension does kind of look like sickness sometimes, just so you guys are fully aware of that. Okay, I'm seeing the sickness. They're saying some of you, your diet is actually what's causing your sickness. Maybe you ate something. All right. Yeah, they're also saying some of you are spreading yourself too thin. Okay, so we do have the wheel here, which is showing me taking a different path, moving forward, picking a new path. They're saying to go in front. There's like a fork in the road. You can either go left and right. They're telling you to keep moving forward. Concerning this spilled milk, spilled emotion. If you guys want me to look into your particular situation and this is so far resonating, hit me up on Instagram. I'll give you a reading. And yes. Okay, some of you guys actually had sex with somebody from your past. Somebody who was breadcrumbing you when it comes to emotions. That pull was too strong. Why you do that? All right, and they also show me the King of Wands here, so you probably was the King of Dodo. Ooh. Just a passionate person, I guess. Okay, so that's gonna get you down your own pathway. That decision that you've made has already led you down a certain pathway. They are showing me that you are going to be spiritually successful, because no matter what you choose here, guys, there's really no wrong answer. I just want to make sure you know that, right? There is no wrong answer. But in spirit, they have already sent, I guess, the redirection to prevent this. They show me the tornado to it's like it's taking you out of this situation and placing you in another one. Kind of like the Wizard of Oz. That's what I'm hearing right now. Okay, they're causing a separation between these two energies. Okay. I'm also seeing that you won't see the benefits of this until after this moon cycle. And now that is also delaying. They're doing this on purpose, so this way they don't that the fortune that's coming toward you doesn't get intercepted by some other energy. Okay, but you're going to see the full clear picture of this once this moon cycle is over. Okay, so that breadcrumbing situation, that slow moving pentacle that was coming to you, there, like if you chose differently, if you chose to go this way instead of that way during that last weekend, during that last shift that we went through, you would have been able to, I guess, get this solid foundation, something physical, that was coming to you. Because you reverted and you were kind of focusing on the past, there's like a delayed route. Okay, don't get caught up. You need that time in order to reassess yourself. Okay, to reassess yourself. And they're showing me spirit. They're showing me a lot of spiritual work. Yeah, someone was released in spirit to come help. Okay, yeah, like a warrior. There is Cancer energy on here. You could be a Cancer or what? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna just keep telling me keep reading. So we are seeing the three, which is the Empress in the Major Arcana. It's in reverse as well. They're saying that you did not operate in wisdom. You didn't operate in wisdom. Okay, this was solely physical. It's solely physical. Okay. Yeah, you're just gonna get rerouted. But Spirit has already set out, to send you guidance. Maybe this is part of that guidance. Okay. So I recommend you at least wait for the next 2 weeks. I think this moon cycle is over. I wouldn't continue going back down memory lane. Yeah. You guys are gonna get into a fight. I just wanna I'm gonna say is give 2 weeks. In 2 weeks' time there's going to be a commotion. Okay, but all that is part of this redirection because you were using your energy. They're using your energy to avoid. It's like a karmic situation. Okay, they're trying to avoid this tornado situation here. But you do have somebody who's going to provide you with the intellectual power, I guess the wisdom to avoid you also going down with them. Okay, with whoever you decided to exchange this energy with. Okay. Someone in the spirit on the opposite side of the veil is actually really trying to help and assist you. Okay, you just have to. I'm hearing separate. Either way, they're going to force. Either way, there's a force acting upon the relationship as we're talking right now. In the next 2 weeks, either you guys gonna have a big fight, you're gonna have a big blow up. Somebody's gonna end up going to jail, whether it be spiritual or physical. I know this is a shadow read, so it's not just like butterflies and you're gonna be great. All positivity. There's just the dark side of the spiritual side is that there is checks and balances. Okay, and where you are not operating in wisdom, and when you're not operating in divine, right? When you're not operating in this Empress energy, okay, that's where we get these situations. Okay, this is where we get the Five of Swords situation. This is where we have to have, like, I guess, spiritual policing. Okay, that's a beautiful moth. Okay, so just be mindful of that. I'm gonna steal those colors combination. Got okay. All right, what else we got? Let's keep going. Something more is gonna be revealed. You're gonna see it. Okay, I'm gonna give you. They're saying 2 weeks. They're saying 2 weeks. They're saying 2 weeks delayed time. Okay, so I want you to picture it this way. All right, and I think I'm reading for a feminine energy here. You want you to picture it this way. If you just be who you are, okay, you don't get distracted along the way by like community involvement and people wanting to be part of your energy that don't really belong there. Okay, if you don't, you're literally like on a track, right? You get on a track in spirit, right? And then your desires, the things in your heart that you're being led to, certain things that's also sent there to be distractions to that can derail you. Okay, it could take a little bit longer of a process, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Okay, because maybe you need to get into the nooks and crannies to understand the lesson. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't let any reader make you feel bad about the decisions that you make because there really is no right or wrong. Okay, it's just that after you make your decisions, depending on where you're currently resonating at, right? We then come up and we're like, okay, so what needs to be improved? What areas you need to find understanding so you can make better decisions in the future? Okay, you are going to be successful. So don't think about it any other way. You just have to go through the walk for you to actually physically see the lessons. There's some people who really have to learn not in theory but by practice. Okay, some of those things are rites of passages as well. So it's not bad. On the cut we do have, when I face my fears, I realize I'm no longer frightened. So maybe that's part of it. Maybe you have to really thoroughly go through something. Like, it doesn't matter how much advice someone gives you. You're gonna be calling your friends like, do this, and you're gonna do your own thing. All right. I remember those days, right? You call your friends and be like, leave that boy alone, leave that girl alone, and you want to go see for yourself. There's nothing wrong. It's what's operating in your shadow is just going to get louder and louder until you actually exercise it. Okay, exercise it, exorcism. Okay, if you don't actually bring it to the manifest it to the physical, you'll always be wondering like, what if I decided? So there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just giving you a little heads up. Okay, so then we have silence is golden. Now is the time to be still and embrace the quiet. Pull all the thoughts to rest and allow peace to settle within your heart and mind. Turn off the phone, TV, and background noise. Seek comfort in the silence. Just breathe. All right. So when you have this, they're showing me the blow up card. So when you have this disagreement or this, all right, they keep showing me this leopard, right? This kind of confusion, either cheating situation. I don't like saying the cheating situation. It's just like, it's giving me Three of Swords energy, right? You're going to be in a place where your heart is actually conflicted. Some of you guys are messing with somebody who already has somebody. You probably don't know that they have someone, and you're just kind of like getting caught up in their own karmic nonsense. They're saying yes. For whoever's listening to this message, you may be thinking you're the only person. I don't really know. Either way, that last energy had you drawing you back into a situation a little bit that was leaving you unsatisfied, lack of content, right? And I think it's because you think that that's all that there is, because you're not being patient. You're not really trusting the process of spirit yet. Okay, and like I said, this is where spirit be coming through the most, when we're in the trenches, when we are not content, when we don't like our isolation and we want to be in somebody's face and we want to have attention, or we la 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 la. Okay, but now that the act is done, we're asking for you to just breathe. Turn off your phone, turn off your TV, because we're going to be sending you insights. Turn off your YouTube after you finish watching this. Right? Sending you certain insights at certain times to help get you out of it. All right? It's in the silence that we do the most work, right? When your mind's at ease. So if you can, okay, if not, you will be redirected accordingly through the TV shows that you're watching, through the phone. You might even just get a lyric. You might just sing something, and then that would be the instructions. Okay, so be very aware of that. They coming for you though. They coming to help you out. They're coming to help you out. Okay, so put all your thoughts to rest and allow peace to settle within your heart and mind. Just breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe. Okay. So I'm just going to say this real quick. When you get entangled in situations like this, right? Let's say you were not operating like an empress and you decided to, just partake in life things, right? Because all this is a journey and you will going to be tested. You are. And not all the situations is really your fault. You're just in resonance because of whatever life situation, okay? When you start sharing energy with people who are a little bit unclean, they don't practice spiritual cleanliness. These are the people who cheat. These are the people who mix energies, contact different spirits that they have no business contacting. Okay, and then they come, and what they do is they mask themselves on you. Okay, so if I don't want to say Tyrone, if Blake, let's say Blake is your boyfriend or whoever, let's say he goes out here and he starts contracting with different spirits, right? And he starts sharing sacral energy with them, okay? Meaning he's sleeping with them or whatever the case may be. And then he comes back, right? And that spirit now is on him. Now he's coming back to interact with you. right? And he's laying next to you, he's in your home, blah, blah, blah. That spirit is still on him in the unseen, okay? In the unseen. So you will wake up in your intuition as a woman, you might be like feeling something, depending on how tapped in you are. Okay, you're gonna feel like something is not right, right? And not only that, you actually lose some of your sense. Okay, you're gonna feel in that daze, confused, because you have now allotted permission. That's why you need to know where you end and others begin. You need to be in isolation from this particular person. You guys are gonna get into a fight anyway. It's gonna come up because that's how this stuff works. Okay, but your ancestors are trying to see you. But once you get covered with this murkiness or muddy, they can't tell where you end and those others begin. So you need to start doing back the practices and calling back your energy, right? From all things that are not reciprocal, from all things that don't serve you, so you can get your glow back, so they can see you, so they can continue to bless you with things, right? Especially when it comes to the physical plane. All right, they are asking for you to move forward, but like I said, this is already built into the game for you to have these little moments of experiences, so you can get back into your empresshood. Okay, divine femininity. All right. Yeah, someone is coming to go to what we call spiritual jail. They are saying think positively about this. Okay, we all make left turns sometimes, but which is what you do from this point to move forward. Okay, I know where I end and others begin. Now this is gonna feel, it's gonna have moments of feeling terrible, right? Because now you're holding on to whatever karmic disposition that partner has, whatever that person has done. Whatever that person has done, now it's on you. It's like it's gonna make you feel some kind of way, like anxiousness. It may make you feel yeah, this anxiety, this kind of like something's not right because you're not being fulfilled. Okay, with love, you're being fulfilled with misalignment, really. Okay, and vice. That's really what it is. Okay, so if you're being called to eat flesh, if you're being called to drag your spirit down into your body the most solid way possible, whether it be through sex, whether it be through food, without actually using your intuition and operating wholly, um, there is discomfort, okay, that comes with it because you don't get to see, you're not thinking ahead of this instant gratification. And when you do that, like I said, you get robbed of time, energy, and attention. Okay, so just be mindful. I really do I recommend that everyone focuses on the things that they want to see. Okay, and then have that in spirit. Remember, everything that we see in physical is just a delayed response. All right, your spirit does most of the work. Okay, and then it's all for you to just be present, silent, in order to so you can get the right messages to be at the right place at the same right time. Speak speak when it's time to speak. It's like these things. You get those gifts of hearing. All right, they keep showing me the moon. So we have until the full moon. We're going to see everything. So I recommend for the next 2 weeks just be in your isolation until this storm has passed. I think that's really what they're saying. And then on top of it, we're last couple messages we have. I learned from my experiences. I know the 2 days ago when I was giving advice about this, I did mention that stuff, right? You're like, why it is you want to leave the past in the past is because you want to make sure that you understand that you learn from your experiences. You're not just out here just, going down all these corridors thoroughly for no reason. Okay, and then we have let that shit go. Holding on to grudges can cause heavy thought forms to fragment our energy bodies. This card reminds us to choose our battles wisely. Living in the past too long can also trigger a state of depression. Once you uncover what has been causing you pain or fear, thoroughly flesh out the emotions to gain understanding. It's time to let go and complete the healing process. Do not get lost in a victimhood mentality. Your future creations will depend on your wholeness. All right, so the Wheel of Fortune is here. Like I said, it's up to you to let it go. Let it go. All right, and then for those of you part of this reading who have made a decision not to go back to the past, and you successfully entered the portal that was opened, I believe it ended, well, it's residual, but it was supposed to be for this weekend up till yesterday, which is Monday, from when I'm recording this. You are also being blessed to move forward. Move forward. Okay, and think positively about this. Think positively about your divine self and being operating in your higher level consciousness without being reliant on the past. Okay, I'm getting this lyric from Ashake. He's like, anything I do with all my heart. Okay, if someone in your life is are in your life and they don't have that energy about you, meaning that they are cultivating a love with you with all of their heart, then you know you're going to be in a Five of Swords situation, a battle. Okay, this is why you must let the go, let all that nonsense go. Show the universe that you learned from your experiences. So whether it would be the first time around, the third time around, the 15th time around, trying to start up this relationship again. Okay, you have to really stop and think it's time. Okay, think positively about the letting go. Okay, like I said, either way, you're going to be successful. Okay. And I do pray that in the next 2 weeks, when this moon gets back into the full, that you get to see all the things that you were blinded from because you gave your energy away. Okay. To the past. Okay. There's still hope. Do not get too crazy about this. Okay. Remember to repeat, I learned from my experiences. I know where I end and others begin. Think positively about this, as well as seek comfort in silence. Okay, so if you don't hear from that person for a while, be grateful. Be grateful. Okay, because like I said, there's already in the astral world, the your ancestors, your spirit guides have already set forth certain things that will come to physical to allow a delay and lack of, I guess, face time. That's what I'm hearing. FaceTime. Okay, whether that person actually ends up in jail, or if that person just, you guys might get into an argument that will cause, like, we're not speaking. That's being done on purpose, so that you can see where you end and this person begin, and then we can actually see, I guess, exaltation. I guess where they can now, like, yeah, that's mine right here. Your ancestors like, yeah, that's mine from my bloodline. This is her actual karmic disposition. This person tried to put this on her energy, to avoid their own karmic debt. Okay, so we're seeing that next 2 weeks. Yeah, if this is hitting on any resonance, and you like this, again, this is a collective reading, so some things might hit for you, some things may not, and you like to go in deeper about your personal situation, hit me up on Instagram. Other than that, enjoy your shadow side of the moon, and try to keep up some spiritual practices to keep yourself clean. Spiritual cleanliness is very, very important at this time. Alrighty, bye. That's it.